Good evening, Jamestown. I'm Matthew Nies with your January 25th, 2011 JCTV News Update. A North Dakota State University study released today says the economic impact of the state's oil industry more than tripled in size dollar-wise between 2005 and 2009. According to the Associated Press, the study puts the value of oil and gas production, exploration, refining, payroll, and other activity at almost $13 billion in 2009, up from just over $4 billion in 2005. The report also says that oil industry jobs were tripled from 2005 to 2009, and that the number of active oil wells increased by almost 1,000 wells. Today, the Illinois Supreme Court ordered that former White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel's name be put back on the Chicago mayoral ballot after an appellate court yesterday ruled Emanuel ineligible to run for mayoral election and barred his name from being printed on election ballots. The Supreme Court did not rule on other matters in the case, but the decision seems to imply that they are considering listening to the appeal. Certainly the decision holds much weight as Mr. Emanuel is significantly ahead in both election polls and campaign funds. Tonight was a big night in the political world as President Barack Obama delivered the annual State of the Union address at 6 p.m. President Obama's address focused on the economy, but more specifically on improving the education, innovation, and infrastructure in the United States as the way to provide a sounder economic base. He also paired that with calls to reform government and reduce government debt, which now tops $14 trillion. The president also gave nods to American interests around the globe, with a traditional foreign policy section that covered the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, terrorism threats, and diplomacy. And he most likely mentioned yesterday's attacks in Moscow. And speaking of yesterday's attack, Russian authorities report that at least 35 people have been killed and another 168 wounded as a result of the suicide bombing which occurred around yesterday afternoon at one of Moscow's busiest airports. The attack may be linked with the subway bombing on a Moscow train last March and a bombing of a luxury train in November of 2009. Also in international news, the 1998 bomber of two United States embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, Ahmed Khalfan Gailani, was sentenced to life in prison today. The bombings killed 224 people and wounded thousands more. Gailani was later captured in a gunfight and has since been detained at Guantanamo Bay. But today he became the first such detainee to be tried in the United States civilian court system. Although Gailani's defense battled hard, he was rejected a lesser sentence and will serve his life sentence without parole and will likely be sent to the Supermax federal prison in Florence, Colorado. Well, this year has been an exceptionally cold winter for much of the United States and Europe. However, analysts say that it's been exceptionally warm up north, far north. The New York Times reports that much of northeastern Canada and Greenland experienced December temperatures as much as 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, which has disrupted fishing and trading. Temperatures for us this week look a little warmer as well, at least until the weekend. Looking at our extended 5-day forecast, we see that tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with scattered flurries before noon, with wind gusts around 15 miles per hour and a high near 27 degrees. Thursday will be partly sunny with highs in the mid-30s and lows in the low 20s. There's a 20% chance of snow on Friday, but temperatures will significantly decrease this weekend, with highs in the single digits on Saturday and highs below zero on Sunday. So enjoy the warm weather while you can. Well, not much is happening in the realm of sports today, except practice, of course. Tomorrow, however, the Jimmy men's and women's basketball teams are heading to Minot, where they'll take on Minot State University. The women's game starts at 5:30 tomorrow evening, while the men tip off at 7:30. Well, today's history headline, courtesy of History.com, is the discovery of the world's largest diamond. On January 25, 1905, at the Premier Mine in Pretoria, South Africa, a 3,106-carat diamond was discovered by a worker. Christened the Cullinan, the diamond weighed almost 1.5 pounds and was later presented to King Edward VII as a birthday gift. But that was a different headline from a different day. For tomorrow's headlines, tune into JCTV, where we're always looking to connect the campus with the community. I want to give a happy birthday wish to my dad, and I hope you all have a peerless evening. Good night.